Good evening, Prime R. Mr. Kum, to me, an educated person is a person who is engaged in the world, open to accepting new thoughts and ideas, and is willing to learn from past and future experiences as well as educational opportunities. An educated person knows how to make productive use of knowledge. They know where to get the knowledge that they need, and they have the ability to organize that knowledge into a plan of action that is directed to a definite end. Mr. Ewang is writing from St. Francis in Kumba. Good evening, sir. This is Gideon. And then we, from Bamenda, I would like to say the question on who is an educated person, allying those who learn trade without going to formal school in context cannot be equated to as an educated person. Education can be defined as the process of receiving or giving systematic instructions, especially at a school or university. So I guess there should be a difference between formal education and informal education because both can never be the same.
Exactly.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys for contributing. Good evening, Mr. Leo. The topic on how to know an educated person is quite interesting. I know people who have gone to schools but are not educated. Also, the point where your guest talks of the teacher being a role model is lacking today in our schools. In the proprietor of Classic School, Menka in Santa Subdivision, and a teacher by profession, children learn what they see than from what they see. I don't know, you say see and see. And some of the school environment are not conducive to the learners and the teachers. Much has to be done in our country in this direction. Mr. Ben Felix is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you, Mr. Ben Felix. Now, good evening, Nga Divine Teba, writing from the top 5, Mancon. From Genesis, man is created with the capacity and will power to know God, understand the purpose of human life, and have dominion and excel over all other creatures. Thus, a truly educated person should have a balanced, integrated spiritual, human, and material education with good conduct to serve mankind and advance civilization. Division, pride, selfishness, and wars are a sign of lack of proper education. Good evening in the studio. I'm Prisco from Yaoundé. Please, I would like to tell our panelists in the studio to be sincere, like in the case where we complain about our system of education, that what our teachers teach in our schools is not what is needed for our society to grow. If we can look at China today and see that it's newly industrialized country, we can ask ourselves how long. Okay, yes, but we have so many professional educational
And
institutions
even the technical
now.
school.
Yeah, we have the technical schools.
School.
You was complaining. I don't know whether you went to a technical school and you were deprived. Somebody just wrote to me. Can I have the pictures someone sent to me? Now, please. I shared with you. Like, can we have those pictures on air?
Pictures.
No, this is what. Good evening, Mr. Kum.
All
I'm
right.
called Mr. Fung Derrit Eboa. I am teaching in some 3 technical schools here in Yaoundé. This is what I do with my students in the building and construction department during field trip work. So I always advise parents to send their children to field trip work because most of private technical schools here in Yaoundé do not buy materials to teach these students practicals. That's why some of these students do not know practicals, and at the end, you cannot actually see the difference between the technical students and that of a general education. Can we have the pictures? So the person who is complaining, this is what students in a technical education are doing. They are learning hands-on. So upon graduation, they know exactly what they have to do. So when you complain, I don't know whether you went to a technical school. There are lots and lots of professional schools that have been created. I don't know whether you have been there also, but talking about the higher institution of learning and university done, you talk of provoking consciousness in the learning process.
Yes. Still in a way to stimulate people that are in the learning process to be alert.
Mhm.
Just giving incidences through which a learner can just decide to add value to their knowledge. All of these things are coming up because some way along the line, the learners are dormant. I think I watched a program on this same TV last week where a little girl came here and was able to say a good number of things. How she was conscious of the fact that she sat behind the class, and the classmates who sat behind became a detractor to her, so she had to leave immediately and sit in front. I mean, that child was a role model, and that child is exhibiting attitudes of people who are supposed to be in the classroom learning.